The St. Lucie Public Schools teacher evaluation system is based on the Framework for Quality Teaching and Learning. Effective use of evaluations is linked to increased student achievement through higher levels of student learning. Our system is founded on a core of effective instructional practices and Florida Educator Accomplished practices. We believe that improving the quality of instructional, administrative, and supervisory practice is through effective feedback. Our plan provides tools for both classroom teachers and non-classroom teachers. We'll begin with key components of classroom teachers. The Classroom Teacher Framework for Quality Instruction is based upon the research gathered and synthesized by Dr. Robert Marzano. The plan consists of 4 domains and 60 elements spread over the 4 domains. We call this visual the placemat, which is a quick guide to viewing the components. The domains include classroom strategies and behaviors, planning and preparation, reflecting on teaching, and collegiality and professionalism. You may find detailed information about the plan, element descriptions, and technical guidelines for the plan on the Employee tab of the St. Lucie Public Schools webpage. Each element has a comprehensive rubric attached to inform you of the exact performance indicators that an evaluator will look for in order to evaluate your performance. Before we get into the plan details, there are a few definitions and clarification on this year's plan that help you to understand how your evaluation system works. First, all teachers in their first year in the district or who return to the district after a break in service will be classified as a 1.1 teacher. If a teacher is a late hire, they will be a Category 1.1 teacher for their initial year of service and the entire following year. What is a late hire? A late hire is a teacher who is hired after the 98th day of the 10-month contract year. A deliberate practice plan, DPP or growth plan, are required for classroom teachers but are optional for non-classroom teachers. The DPP score is value added to the status score to make up the instructional practice score. Student growth measures are based upon a student growth metric of students present during Survey 2 and Survey 3 and who are assigned to the teacher based upon plan descriptors. This represents a change to the plan as the former 3.49 minimum student growth measure has been discontinued. Beginning in the 2017-18 school year, student growth measures will be based upon metrics as outlined in the plan for your specific assignment. Our plan provides multiple opportunities for observation and feedback that is designed to affect growth of teachers. So how often will classroom teachers be observed? If you are a Category 1.1 teacher, you will receive 4 informal observations, 2 formal observations, and 2 evaluations, 1 at mid-year and 1 at year-end. All other categories, 1.2, 1.3, and 2.0, will receive a minimum of 3 informal observations and 1 formal with a year-end evaluation. Teachers who work less than a full year may have an amended schedule of observations and evaluations based upon the number of days they work. This may pertain to individuals who are late hires or who may be out on leave or temporarily assigned to alternate duties. Teachers who work from 45 to 98 days will receive 2 informal observations, 1 formal observation, and 1 evaluation. Teachers who work 44 days or less would receive 1 informal observation, and the evaluation would be in the form of a narrative. Process requirements are specific. Key components include An informal observation must be at least 10 minutes in length, include specific, actionable, written feedback for any rating less than applying, and feedback provided within 3 workdays after the informal observation. Prior to a formal observation, at least one informal observation is required to be conducted. You should expect a pre-observation conference 2 to 3 days prior to the formal observation. The observation must be a minimum of 1 class period or 45 minutes in length. It also requires specific, actionable, and written feedback for any ratings less than applying. A post-observation conference must be provided within 10 days of the formal observation. The deliberate practice plan is required for classroom teachers and is optional for non-classroom teachers. The DPP is focused on growth in professional practice. Results of the DPP and both formal and informal observations are used for the annual evaluation. Additionally, student performance is factored in to the final evaluation score. The plan outlines specific roles and responsibilities for observers and teachers. Your responsibilities include preparing for pre- and post-observation conferences, demonstrating effective teaching, planning, reflecting, and performing in a collegial and professional manner. When feedback is provided, you are encouraged to reflect upon it and engage in dialogue with the observer and to take appropriate action. Levels of proficiency vary depending upon the category of the teacher. Recognizing that Category 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 teachers are in assimilation and learning mode, the threshold for effective performance is slightly less than that for seasoned Category 2.0 teachers. Your summative evaluation is composed of 3 distinct calculations. Instructional practice is comprised of a score derived from your observations and is called a status score, together with your growth plan or DPP. Since the DPP is value added, your DPP rating is added to your status score and becomes your instructional practice score and has a weight of 67% or 2/3 of the summative evaluation. 33% or 1/3 of your summative rating comes from the student growth measure as outlined in the plan for your subject and grade. You can also be assured that your principal and assistant principal are well trained. Generally, your administrators are the key individuals who conduct your observations and complete your evaluation. In rare circumstances, a district office administrator who is well trained may participate in the process. Florida statute allows for the amending of evaluations based upon assessment data should it become available within 90 days after the close of the school year. Parents and stakeholders are invited to provide input on the performance of all teachers, non-classroom teachers, as well as classroom teachers. Important evaluation-related dates are published on an annual basis. They include deadlines for orienting all teachers at the beginning of each school year, a date when the deliberate practice plan and non-classroom teacher initial meeting should be held, a mid-year progress review for Category 1.1 teachers and non-classroom teachers, and a deadline for the year-end evaluations for instructional staff. The summative rating for all teachers is composed of 3 pieces: the instructional practice score, which comes from the status score, together with the deliberate practice score and the student growth measure. Details on student growth measure are detailed on Table 1, pages 2 through 9 of the Instructional Evaluation Handbook, which is posted on the Employee tab of the St. Lucie Public Schools webpage. This next section will acquaint you with creating deliberate practice plans using the iObservation digital platform. Before we get started on the technical side of the process, there are a few pieces of important information to share. Deliberate practice or growth plans, as they are referred to in the iObservation platform, are required for classroom teachers and they are optional for non-classroom teachers. Deliberate practice plans must be completed and approved by your administrator by September 29th. Non-classroom teachers will have their initial evaluation planning meetings with their administrator by September 29th as well. Non-classroom teachers and Category 1.1 teachers will receive a mid-year evaluation, which will be conducted by January 19th and will include a conversation about progress on the DPP. All DPPs and observations must be completed by April 30th. Final evaluations with DPP ratings must be completed by May 2nd. So this might be a good time to talk about how your growth plan is scored. One method is by the number of levels that you move from your beginning rating to the highest level achieved through your formal, informal, or DPP requested observations. An example of this would be where you would start at a not using level and would achieve at least one rating of developing. You move 2 levels and you would be rated as effective with a value added score of 0.67 to your status score. The other method is determined by the level you move to. For example, if you begin at an applying rating and you move to an innovative rating, you would have achieved a rating of highly effective and would receive 1 full value-added point. It's important to note that your status score and your DPP score combined cannot go above 4.0. Using this flowchart to guide your practice will keep you on track to complete your plan within the established timelines. iObservation refers to the deliberate practice plan as a growth plan. DPP and deliberate practice and growth plan are all synonymous. Once you have been trained, you may begin creating your deliberate practice plan immediately. So let's get started. To log into iObservation, use any browser and enter effectiveeducators.com into the address bar. The first time you log in, you will click the First Time User link to set up your account. Your login is your St. Lucie Public Schools email address. Once you submit, you will receive an email confirmation with a link to create your password. You will then have access to a wealth of valuable features in iObservation. We're going to begin with classroom teachers, and although the DPP process is nearly identical for non-classroom teachers, if you watch this webinar through to the end, you will then have 2 opportunities to review the steps to create a DPP. To begin, after logging in, you will be directed to your iObservation homepage. Find the Growth tab and using your cursor, hover over it and select Plans. When you click on the Create New Plan button, a new growth plan template will be displayed. The Deliberate Practice Plan is designed for teachers to take stock of their own professional practice and dedicating attention to deepening knowledge and developing strategies that enhance their instructional practice each year. The St. Lucie plan requires that 1 target element be selected, but you may select up to 2. If 2 target elements are selected, the lowest rated element will be dropped and only the strongest rating will count for your DPP year-end score. In choosing your target element, you may want to consider which element will provide you with the greatest point of leverage in meeting the needs of your students. Once you have self-reflected and taken an honest look at your professional practice, you'll be ready to select your target elements. All of the framework elements will be available to you and are fair game to select. However, elements in Domain 1 provide the best opportunity for observation. When you find the element that you want on the menu, click the Configure button. To configure a target element, you will do several things. You will identify the rating that you believe is your current level of performance on the target element. You will have an opportunity to discuss this rating and come to consensus with your administrator for that beginning rating. You will also identify the level that you want to be at the end of the plan. The 3 target element questions are designed for you to think through your plan by identifying the current level of student behavior or learning that you want to see improve as a result of your focus on this strategy, the desired changes you wish to see, and then stating your personal growth that will have the desired impact on student behavior and performance. You are now ready to move to step 2. Click on the link called Develop a Plan for Growth to identify your action steps. Click on the link to add a step to create your action plan step. In the Describe the Action Step box, you will describe what actions you are going to take to grow in your particular element. This is where you'll identify the things you plan to do. Will you engage in a book study, a webinar, a workshop? How will you put your research into practice? You will also note the date when you expect to take this particular action. You will notice that there are action step ideas and options to add preloaded resources. Be sure to save action step. Once your plan is complete, you will put your plan into action by clicking on the Submit for Approval button. Your administrator will meet with you to approve your plan once your target elements, your action plan, and current ratings have been discussed. You can add additional action steps or comment on trials and results of things that you have practiced as part of your work on this element throughout the year by clicking on the Edit button of the Growth Plan page. iObservation is a powerful tool with many resources available and automatic notifications of actions being taken within your digital file. To ensure that you are receiving all of the notifications embedded in the system for your successful use, you must configure your settings. From your home page, navigate to the top right and use the pull-down menu next to your name. Select My Settings. Navigate to the email notification preferences by scrolling toward the bottom of the screen. Check all the boxes and then save. This activates email notifications of any activity in the system that relates to you and your evaluation system. You may also wish to upload a photo and update information on your account. You can do this in Settings as well. We're confident you will find this platform easy to navigate and to use. Should you have any questions, however, or need additional help, we're here to assist you. You may contact the ITS Help Desk for technical assistance. Patty Galloway or Kathy McGinn are also available for plan assistance or questions about iObservation. This training, along with other step-by-step tutorial documents, will be placed on the Employee tab of the St. Lucie Public Schools website so that you can refer back as needed. Thank you for participating today. We hope that you have a spectacular year ahead.